Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday and you know what that means. It is weigh-in day. So how did I do? I was down 0.8. You know what? It's a loss and I will take it. It's been slow. I am chipping away at this 8 pounds, just chipping away and chipping away. But I would rather see 0.2 loss, 0.4 loss, 0.8 loss for several weeks in a row than any type of gain at all, or an up and down, up and down. So I am thrilled. I am thrilled. You know, I didn't change anything up really this week. I would like to change up a few things this coming week. I've been a little picky. I've been counting it all, but I've been a little picky. And sometimes I do it without even thinking. Like, it's so funny. Like, the babies just have like this sixth sense, like this little routine. Like, it seems like every morning at 10:30 they ask for pretzels. And like, I don't even think when I hand them each their 2 little pretzel twists, like I pop one in my mouth, not even thinking, just because it's in my hand and it's there. I count it. But it's just little things like that that I don't need, that I need to break those little habits, because honestly, it's very, very easy for 1 pretzel to turn into 2, to turn into 3, to turn into 4. And then maybe we'll add a piece of cheese with it. I fall down that path and I don't want to. So I need to rein that little picky pick in. So I'm definitely gonna work on that this week. I have been slaying my water. Like, who is this girl and what is she doing? I've really been great on the water and I plan on continuing that. Sometimes weekends are a little tough for me lately, so I plan on just reeling it in. Last weekend was okay. You know, we made the galumpki the one day and had pinochle, and I did have dessert at pinochle, very little dessert. And then the next night we had dinner over at a friend's house. It was very WW friendly. I had a little dessert there too. I mean, very WW friendly, counted it all, but just need to rein it in, I think, a little bit. Because you know what they say. You can't do the same thing over and over and expect different results. I hit myself in my eye this morning with my mascara. My eye's bothering me a little, so if I start watering, or let me go take care of this. Okay, sorry about that. We'll see how long this lasts. So anyway, that is my weigh-in. That is my plan for the coming week. I need to set myself up for success. I need to cut some more veggies up. You know, I've said it before. I always keep a veggie tray out on the counter, veggie and fruit. We pretty much destroyed it this week. The babies were like veggie fiends. So I need to cut up a whole lot more veggies, because that is a lifesaver to me. Having that out on the counter in front of my face, I get my veggies in and I'm not picking on other stuff. So that is a definite help for me. So that's top on the agenda all week, making sure it is there every single day, and keeping up with my water, and of course my exercise, which you know isn't a problem for me. But I will say real quickly, you know, I've been struggling with running. You know, I used to love to run, love, love, love to run. Then I was having some foot issues. Then I was having some hip issues. And honestly, running has been on the back burner. And every week I put it on my exercise list. And every week I don't do it. I just do the HIIT training. This morning I'm like, you know what? I'm running today because I want to. I miss it. Sometimes you just need that little kick in the butt. And I gave it to myself this morning. I did not go outside because it was way too cold. I'm not that motivated. Went down on the treadmill and I said to Doug, I said, look, I haven't run in a long time. I ran like a mile and a half on Christmas Day. But before that, it was probably the summer. So I said, I'm gonna go down, I'm just gonna run a mile, see how I feel. Well, I ended up doing a 5K this morning. Was it my best pace ever? No, it took me like 36 minutes. But guess what? I did it, and I did it without stopping. never stopped once. So I am thrilled. I'm proud of myself, and it's very motivating. And I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed it. That is the most important thing, the fact that I enjoyed it. So anyway, let's get on to the weekly topic. Plan for unexpected, tasty temptations. Did someone bring a high personal points dessert or appetizer to your dinner party and you didn't plan for it? Get in the driver's seat and follow these steps for what you're going to do next. They're assuming you are going to eat it. So that's what we're going to assume, that yes, you're going to have something. Number 1, check with your budget. Lean on tried and true strategies. Maybe you have enough dailies or weeklies for a smaller portion, or you can use rollovers. What about amping up your 0-point foods intake or adding points? Of course, that's the best thing to do. Check your budget. You might be surprised. You may not realize, like, I don't pay attention to my weeklies. You may be surprised. You might have enough. To have a nice, and it did say on here, a small portion. Because face it, portions are out of control. In the United States anyway. They're out of control. You don't need a piece of cake as big as your head. Would you like a piece of cake as big as your head? Absolutely you would. You don't need it. That's what it comes down to. You don't need it. We want it, we don't need it. It all comes down to wants versus needs. You may need a dessert. Like, I know I get a hankering and I need something sweet, especially after I have something like either spicy or like acid based, like spaghetti. I need a little something, something sweet afterwards. It's just how I am. I might want a massive bowl of ice cream, but I don't need that. I need a little something, something. I need a 1/4 cup or a 1/2 cup of ice cream. I need to savor it. I need to eat it slowly, and I need to enjoy it. Wants versus needs. So decide on your points. Like, you may have, like, okay, I have 5 points left, and somebody brought delicious looking cupcakes. Cut it in half. Cut it in quarters. And I'm gonna tell you right now, do not have portion distortion. Don't look at a cupcake and say, oh, that's probably 6 points. Because you know it's not. You know it's not. Don't underpoint your food just to make yourself feel better. Give it realistic. Half or a quarter of that cupcake may be 6 points. Cut it in half, cut it in quarters. Eat a quarter of it. Eat it slowly. And then wait. And then see if that satisfies you. Eat it and then go do something else. See if you can forget about the rest of it. If not, go back and eat the other quarter. And then stop. Guys, we don't need a whole cupcake. We want it. We want it. I'm not saying we don't, but we don't need it. So think about your points budget. Think about how much you can afford to eat. You're not going to go out and buy, if you have a budget for a new car of $30,000, you're not going to go out and buy a $50,000 car just because you want it. You don't have enough in your bank account to cover it. Well, if you don't have enough in your points account to cover a food, then don't eat it. Tough love. Number 2, look for any alarm bells. Envision how you'll feel 1 hour after eating that dessert. If you picture yourself with any regret or bad feelings, that's an alarm bell. If not, enjoy it and track it. We can say, I ate those 2 cupcakes and a candy bar and I have no regret. Really? You have no regret. You're not going to have regret on Monday when you get on that scale, or Tuesday when you get on that scale, or Wednesday when you get on that scale, or Thursday when you get on that scale, or whatever day it is you get on the scale. You're not going to have any regret then. You need to think long term, because I know that's how I am. I get that like long-term regret. Like I stop and think, you know, was it really that good? Was it good enough to gain a half a pound? Was it good enough to stay the same? If the answer is yes, then okay. It may not be. Depending on where you're at in your journey, it may not be. So really think hard about it. We can throw around so easily, I had no regrets. I had no regrets. You can say it, but do you truly mean it? You need to really stop and think if you really mean what you're saying. Number 3, create a plan. If a little siren went off, put some space between you and the food. Do something else and come back in 5 to 10 minutes before making a decision. Now that you have some distance, decide what you want to do. Always wait. Do not eat, what's the word I'm looking for? Like on a whim. Don't just eat it because it's there. Don't just like make that decision and go head first into the manure pile. Don't do it. Think about it. And maybe like you see that dessert, but maybe there's another one. Look for something maybe a little bit better. Or if you're going to a party or a dinner party, or take something that you know is point friendly and delicious. There's always ways around things. And I get that you don't want to hurt someone's feelings or something like that. And that's when you need to control what you're doing. You need to just have a bite or whatever. Or, you know what, sometimes you may have to say, look, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but you know I'm on WW and that's just not in my points budget today, but I would love you to leave a piece for me and I can fit that into my budget when my weeklies roll over, or I can fit that into my budget tomorrow when I can plan for it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you're kind about it, like never look at somebody and go, oh my God, I can't eat that. That's 32 points. What are you thinking? No. Always put a positive spin on it. Oh my gosh, that looks so delicious, but I used all my points for today and you know I'm on WW, so would it be okay if I kept a little piece and I can fit it into my plan tomorrow and I'll sit in with a cup of tea and really enjoy it. You can always put a positive spin on it. And anyone who is your true friend and someone who is truly there to support you will be okay with that. They'll be okay with that. Sometimes we have to stand up for ourselves and not worry about, you know, putting it out there. Oh, I got completely off topic. Yeah, do something else and come back 5 or 10 minutes. You see the dessert, it looks good. You know what, go in the other room and chat with some people, or ask the hostess, oh, can I clear the table for you? Oh, can I, you know, rinse your dishes, whatever. Help, start talking to people, things like that, and get your mind off of it. If you're still thinking about it, that's when you go back and say, okay, I can't stop thinking about it. Let me have a bite. And if you're at the party with someone like a husband or a spouse or a significant other or a best friend, kind of like maybe just have a taste of theirs. I do that with Doug a lot. You know, the other night when we went to my friend Suzanne's, she sent us home with some treats. And the next day, Doug went to have a mini cannoli. And I wanted to taste it, so I had a bite. A bite. And that was it. And that was enough. I got to taste it. Sometimes that helps. Number 4 is make your move. Do you still want to eat that dessert or appetizer even after the delay? If so, go for it. Just don't forget to track it. You just made a conscious choice to do it. Just don't forget to track it. Here's the thing. If you forget to track it, let's say it was 15 points and you're using your weeklies, but you didn't track it. You're not honest tracking. So you just use 15 points of your weeklies. Then the next day comes along and you use 2 or 3 of your weeklies. The next day comes along, you use 2 or 3 of your weeklies again. Well, you're going to go negative because you didn't track the 15 weeklies you used on that cannoli or whatever it was. So now you're negative. Then you get on the scale and you wonder what the heck happened. Well, what happened was you were so negative into your weeklies, into your dailies, into your everything. That's what happened. But You don't know it because you didn't track it. And guess what? As good as it was, 7 days later, you're forgetting about it. Yep, nothing's that good that we're remembering it that far in advance or that long. So just make sure you're honest with yourself and track it, because if you're not honest with yourself, what's the point? What's the point? Okay, now they say let's dive a little deeper. Even when you've been planning and tracking like an all-star, an unexpected tasty temptation can show up and throw you for a loop. Let's be real. You can't actually anticipate every little food you might come across, but you can anticipate how you might react. And that's where this technique comes into play. Instead of just going on autopilot and eating the unexpected, pause to mindfully check in with yourself and make a truly conscious choice about what to do next. And that's what it comes down to, my friends. It comes down to choices. It comes down to wants versus needs. It comes down to how much do you really want to be successful on this journey? Sometimes we have to make the hard choices. Sometimes we do. Does it suck? 100%. It does. But don't forget, just because you may not be able to fit that entire cupcake into your points, have a half, have a quarter. I know it's not the same, but you just don't know until you try. It may satisfy you. It just may. So just stop, think, and make a good choice. If you make the choice that is right for you, it is a good choice. But just remember the choice you made come weigh-in day when you step on that scale. Because all choices have consequences. Sometimes we can accept them, sometimes it's a little bit harder. So just decide what works for you, because we are all different. What works for one does not necessarily work for the other. So make the choice that is best for you. The recipe of the week is avocado and tomatillo salsa. It looks actually pretty good. It looks more like a, I hate the way they do this now. Like they try to be all artful with the pictures. It looks more like a creamy guacamole. And for me, it would be 1 point because avocados are not a 0 point food for me. It's some tomatillos, some scallions, garlic, avocado, cilantro, and kosher salt. Serving size is 3 tablespoons. Actually, this looks pretty good. Might have to save this one because I love guacamole and this could be pretty good. Of course, I'd want like a bazillion chips to dip into it, so I'd have to, you know, think about that too. Although it may be good with vegetables, we'll have to wait and see. So my friends, that is it. That is my weigh-in. I am down 0.8, almost a whole pound. Maybe next week I'll go for that pound. And then, yeah, because last week was 0.4, this week was 0.8. Maybe, we'll see. And the weekly meeting topic. So you're gonna have to make these choices at some point. Just make the ones that are right for you. Own it, do it, and like I said, every choice has a consequence, so make sure you're comfortable with that consequence before you make the choice. Have a great day, my friends, and I will see you in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and always share this if you know someone who may benefit. Have a great one.